And here we are with Raja Kumari, and welcome to WION. We have to talk about The Bridge. Your album has released, and tell us all about it. The Bridge, why is it called The Bridge?
I mean, everything I do is for Saraswati Ma. I mean, I think all my music, I always say, is an offering on the altar of Saraswati. And I tell people, you have to give something to music to expect something back. It can't just be only taking. But The Bridge for me is kind of the journey, the evolution, from the artist that people know me as to the artist that I am today. And also, it was a pandemic baby. It was made during a time of great reflection, and it goes through a lot of more introspective ideas versus just kind of identity and talking about my Indian American culture. I think I go deeper on this album and talk about my emotions. And, there's the first love songs that I've released are on this album. And I guess I'm most proud because it's my first full length and there's no features. So it's just me.
It's just you. And, tell me during, like you said, it's a pandemic baby. In this pandemic, what was the hardest part and what was the most amazing part of being at home?
Well, I think the timing of it, I was getting my very first Rolling Stone cover, which was a huge moment for me. And it was also the first time they decided not to print it because print magazines were going to carry germs. So that was really hard, because I was hoping to go buy it and hold it, something that I always wanted. And I had just come off of headlining like every major festival in the country. And all of a sudden, the thing that I'm judged on is how large of a crowd can I draw is now taken away. And we don't know if we'll ever have crowds again. So I think that really stripped away a lot of what I thought my identity was and really made me really look at myself and my experiences and why I started music, So I guess the separation, like when we make music, we perform it at our shows and we can immediately in real time see how people are receiving it. But during the pandemic, I guess we were so separate from everyone. So it was a good and bad thing because I think this album was kind of made in like a little pocket. It was really my little COVID bubble. The two producers, myself and my childhood best friend, we made this album, So I think that it was really different. So it was good and bad to be isolated. And I was really worried about, the future of music itself. Like how would music be perceived? And if it was only going to be digital, most of my power comes from in person. When people see me in person performing, I can usually shift something that is not quantifiable by a number or a stat, So that was a very scary time for me, but, we're here, we survived. So this album is, having it out in the world has been, it's really, some people, we don't even know what happened in the pandemic. It's like, it just goes over their head, but at least I have this album to show what I did, during the time that I was
So
alive.
when you came back from, the pandemic and we knew that we can again attend, music festivals, and there you were on the stage. Do you remember the first performance after pandemic? And what did it feel like to be back on stage in front of that crowd, which we thought will never happen again?
Oof. I mean, I cried for sure thinking about it during the time, because there's this kind of channel that I can go into, which is the same channel I have on stage. And I use it when I'm recording my vocals. I always imagine like that energy on stage so that they're very much real. So I had imagined it a lot while I was writing the songs. And I actually performed Fearless for the first time in Bombay at my show with John Legend. And I decided to open and close the show with Born to Win, which is the first record on the album, and Fearless. And they were obviously unreleased at the time and no one had heard them. And it was such a moving experience because it felt exactly like my imagination of it, So that was just so crazy. But yeah, I think just manifesting through that kind of darkness and then seeing it actually come to life now has been like really the most rewarding thing.
I believe in manifestation, and I have to say you manifested it.
Oh, yes. I manifest things daily. I'll manifest a lunch for myself. I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a superpower. And I'm happy that everyone's talking about it, because I think at some point in our distant past, we all just knew about these powers. We were all in touch with our chakra system. We understood, we could telepathically communicate, we could draw things to ourselves from the universe. You know, we fed off source energy. And I hope that more people go back towards that, you know?
Absolutely. I am for sure going towards that.
Yes. I mean, we all are. Every day we're trying.
Amazing.
It's what the
Yes.
album is about too. You know, it's like we're not perfect. And, you know, the two love songs, like one of them, Colors, is talking about, you know, that I see the world this way. And, you know, if you want to see the world this way too, you can follow me. But I feel like that there's so many beautiful things that people can experience together. And then the second song is Lovesick, and it's about the way that I hyperfixate on my love interests. And, you know, so it's just, you know, it's you just got to go with the flow.
You know, because we're talking about love songs. Tell me, Raja, tell me your experience of love in your life, the heartbreaks in your life, and something that can till now get tears in your eyes, and something can make you laugh and say, oh my God, what was I thinking?
I think I learned a lot in my life about what love is not. You know, I dated someone that wanted a green card once, and I thought like I would, you know, I thought that certain things wouldn't matter, and somebody that wanted my fame or my money, I didn't know that it was that situation because I'm very naive. But I've learned a lot. I've built boundaries. I've understood my own worth and value. And I think because I built this whole company and I'm making this independent album, I have so much to lose. I can't just throw everything away at the whim because a Bollywood movie told me that's what love is like, you know. But I'm in a really beautiful place now. I think like I'm working on my self-love every day, and I hope that will attract someone that can see that same value in me. And, you know, I think love is a partnership. I've learned a lot, you know, I've learned about what it's not. But I hope, you know, the next album has more love songs about what it is, you know.
Absolutely. And we cannot not talk about your performance with John Legend that you just mentioned. You are on a roll, girl.
Oh my God.
What was that? Like, how did it feel to be on stage with a legend? His name says it all.
You know, there was so much, like I took so much responsibility in my mind about making sure that he saw how wonderful, incredible we are, like India is. We are at this, you know, we're at the NMAC. It's like this incredible venue, you know, we're wearing the best, you know, it was such an ordeal. It took months of preparation in order for John and I to both be an Amit Agarwal coordinated couture, you know. So that was really the desire, to make sure that Indian designers were put on an international platform. And when we saw NMAC, you saw the whole world drool over our designers. And I'm like, exactly what I've been saying, you know. So that experience, just standing there and just feeling so comfortable in that moment, and just knowing that that was easy for me, and that this was, you know, this is us, you know. It was so beautiful. And the song, you know, we wrote together. That was an incredible experience, you know, from meeting him to having a recording. We did it in 4 hours. We wrote his verses together, you know, we wrote the whole thing together. We arranged it, you know, recorded it on the spot. So John coming to India, he loved it. You know, he loves India. I told him how much, you know, people love him in India, and like, you know, I actually saw him live for the first time at an Indian wedding. Okay. So I was like, you know what? We have a lot of weddings. You got to come over to India, man. They got to see you in the couture. If they see you in Indian couture, you're going to be at everything, you know? So John is incredible. And just being on stage with an EGOT, I was like, nobody talked to me about like my dreams being too big. Please remove yourself from my presence, please. Refer to the EGOT standing with me, matching couture, and then speak again.
I should ask him that. I should ask him how did it feel to stand beside Raja Kumari, our Raja Kumari?
Oh, so sweet. One day. Well, he's a sweet. Yeah, I think there's more collaboration in the future for us. Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, he's great. I would love to.
And what about Coachella?
It's like endless. There's so many exciting things. Coachella. Okay, so Coachella was incredible on so many levels. One, I'm a California native. I've gone to Coachella so many times. I've dreamt about.
Pasoori.
I've like dreamed of being on that stage. Pasoori, whenever a song from like our community just transcends and becomes like a global hit, when it was like, why this Very D? And then people are on CNN are like, what is this song? It's like Pasoori was the most Googled song in the world, so much pride associated with that record. I listened to it a million times personally, and Shay Gill is so beautiful on that song. She sings it in my register. I'm like, yes, representing for the low register singing girls, And when Ali asked me to perform it with him, it was the most immediate yes I'd ever said, like no thought behind it. It's like 1,000 degrees out there. I'm like, I'm there in Indian couture, but singing it with him was so beautiful because, Ali's from Pakistan, I'm from India. And like, I think that was such a real representation of like how we all are as humans, and how much Pasoori has united us. This song itself has united us. We have seen it outside the cricket matches with everybody dancing, so it was just incredible to be part of that history, the Desi moment at Coachella. And, to be, when everyone was talking about the artists that were going to be there, I knew secretly like I was also going to be there, and just the excitement building and to be a part of that. I just like thank Ali so much for, inviting me to be a part of that. And hopefully next year, I'm on that stage singing, just records from the bridge.
And I love what you were wearing. Oh, yum. It was very good. It was very good.
Well, my stylist Mira Godbole, who's actually one of my best friends, and we only started working together about like 8 months ago. I was like rebrand time, and she's like, I have a vision. So she's very plugged into Indian brands, and she shares my, desire to use every, international platform to show an Indian designer. That is my desire. I mean, like right now I'm wearing an Indian designer, like that's my closet. I love going through it when I'm in America and being like Kanika Goyal, Dhruv Kapoor. So I spend my money on investing on Indian design. So, I wore Verb the first weekend and I loved the look. It was like this bodysuit with this incredible boho, and all the silver jewelry was actually from my personal collection. So I had like necklaces on that I had from when I was 10, and there's actually pictures of me in that necklace.
I borrow some.
Oh, you should see. There's like,
I love jewelry.
You will have a field day in my closet. I spent 4 days personally, like organizing everything so that I can like respect what I have.
I'm having FOMO. Next time, I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to be there.
Yes. Yes. And next time I will also be on the stage and I will be singing Fearless.
Awesome. And next time you are in India, you make sure you meet me and I make sure I meet you.
Okay, done.
Thank you so much, Raja Kumari.